and making sure he knows that I'm here and that I love him. And I'm not going anywhere. Like it, lump it, you're stuck with me, mate.
The hardest bit for any parent is when their child's away. Whether they're in a separated parenting arrangement or not, if you're away from your children and, you know, you notice that they're not there.
I've been doing the threatening thing for maybe the last year, you know, well, look, I'll have to take you to court if we can't sort this out. It got to the stage where the ex went, oh, you always say that, but you never do. My answer to that was, OK, see you in court.
And the smorgasbord is for the other people that are sitting around on the tables.
Actually, for me, it's about your ex-wife coming.
When I got married to my first husband, the shit hit the fan. As my dad says to me, first time you make a mistake in life, it's a mistake. The second time you make the same mistake in life, it's a stuff-up.
Definitely leaving the kids behind, that was not meant to be part of the dream plan.
No, I just thought I'd never do it again. That's honest. But obviously that all changed.
It's the baggage that people bring in from their previous marriage and relationships. That's a lot to deal with.
Ruth, you know the rules, breakfast, meditation. I was desperate to keep it out of court, but there comes a time where you just have to bite the bullet and do it if you can't agree.
So, yeah, I ended up being that horrible step-parent that I didn't want to be.
The hardest bit for any parent is when their child's away.
My husband in the morning is a wonderful man. Really relaxed, and he's so not.
Get out there, have your meds, have your breakfast, and get to the zone. Because quite frankly, mate, the way you're going, the zone is not going to happen. Get a move on.
I try and keep him asleep as long as possible, so that there's slightly less shouting.
Morning, babe.
Yeah, good morning, bloody paparazzi.
Step families are dysfunctional. It's two families melded into one. Of course it's dysfunctional because if you have a step family, it means two families were dysfunctional enough to separate and divorce.
As a step-parent myself, I didn't come from a step family, so I don't have a roadmap of what it's like to be in a step family. All my conditioning is on the typical nuclear family. What was stressful about it?
We're moving house today.
That has opened up a whole different experience for lots of people. There's not just one way of being in a family anymore or being in a marriage.
When we made the decision that we were going to be in a relationship, I immediately got online and Googled step families. You can say, you know, I went in very aware of what I was doing. You have absolutely no real idea of how a step family works until you're actually in one.
Well, today's barbecue, gathering, get-together is all about my son John, my stepson John, I should say.
Yes. Got some good bacon.
Good lad.
Not enough. Yeah, I've been in the army now for about a year now. Yeah, going to Iraq, for like a security kind of thing. Yeah, really looking forward to it. You know, it's what you train to do.
That's a bit of a chance for everybody to say, you know, good luck over there. Something I never thought I'd have to do. Not at 40 years of age, basically celebrate a son's 21st and, you know, send him off to a war zone.
John, my first son, was a very unplanned pregnancy. I wasn't in a relationship at the time. The last time John's dad saw John was when he was about 8 or 9 months old. I haven't seen him since then. It's sort of just, you know, disappeared off into the middle distance, so to speak. After that, I sort of went into a relationship. I met my now ex-husband.
Holy shit!
Yeah, no, they're charring beautifully.
Oh, the barbecue is actually on fire, dear.
So I got married, had my daughter Ruth, and then had Sam. After that, when I left him, I remained single for 5 years, and then I met Graham.
Everybody, look, thanks for coming along today to John's early Christmas, belated 21st birthday, and farewell party.
It's just abysmal and horrendous what some people in step families go through because of previous broken relationships. The dysfunction in one person is enough to destroy another relationship. Oh, and I've seen it happen.
Yeah, you've got these ex-partners, male or female, that
doesn't matter.
Punish their ex for moving on. And they generally, more often than not, use the children to do it. Well, my children at the moment are living on the Central Coast with their mother. And for the last 7.5 years, there have been issues.
Erin and Rod not being here it makes the party not quite complete because they're usually here for the family things, you know?
It's ridiculous, but there comes a time when you just have to sort of like say stop. You've got to stop walking all over me. You can't have it all your own way. They're my kids too. You can't put conditions on them coming down, which is why we're going to end up in court about it. All I would like to say now is please raise your glasses to a safe return to John. May he come back and make all our lives miserable for many years to come. Because I've spoken to her and I've said, well, I'll at least get to see the kids on Father's Day, don't I? And she did it again. Yes, if you pay their fares down and back and all of that, I just can't do it. So I'm not even getting to see my kids on Father's Day, and I can't live with that. That's just not on.
Claudia's a beautiful organiser. She always organises me every day. You know, the first time we met, she wanted to organise me. In actual fact, before we ever met, she was organising me, sort of thing. So that's really important with the 21st. The party preparation's going pretty good. Tamai's mother will be there and family, so the day being quite a pressure for my son and also his family that are coming from afar. We should be eating at 6 o'clock. They'll cut the meat up, get everything prepared, and one karakia will be said, which is a prayer.
Actually, for me, it's about your ex-wife coming. And I've met Honey, and she's a nice lady, don't get me wrong. But she's little, and she's skinny, and she's pretty, and I was there like, I want to be seen as the best one.
Tamai rings and says that, you know, Tamai Jr. would like to have a 21st, and how did I feel about that, and would I be interested? And I said, yep, we would come down. My family and I would certainly come down. You're going to hold a 21st for Tamai Jr., that'll be great.
Honey and I had 3 sons, and we were looking at, we'll have as many children as we can financially look after ourselves as a family, which... as a young person, you think, oh, yeah, you have a rugby team. As long as we have a rugby team, we'll be right. And when Tama was born, well, one of us had to stop working, it ended up more pressure and stress working at the time and not having all those things that we did have when we were both working.
Probably the biggest downfall, and that, I believe, is the cause of why we separated like we did, because we were not able to talk and express how we felt or what we were thinking.
Pretty much the boys stayed with Honey, and I would travel up every so often to see our boys.
And he was most welcome because nothing had changed, so to speak, other than I had remarried. But I think it was a bit much for Tāmai. You know, yeah, because we didn't see him after that.
When I would get back home, I'd go into a sort of depression, that nothing's moving for me, and the only thing that I could do was get out and try and enjoy myself, which meant I ended up drinking, and more drinking than normal, and smoking, and yeah, didn't have a good outcome for me, but I didn't really realise it.
I was more hurt for my sons that they didn't have that relationship, that he chose to do that, not understanding that how he might have been feeling. That was it. I didn't understand until now, actually, how he might have been feeling and why he did. Now, for the older boys, they can't see that. And they can only see that he wasn't there.
You can lose a person through marriage, but when you depart from your family, that's just gut-wrenching.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, cute. She's had all his children. I haven't had any of his babies. And there's a certain... She will always exist on his whakapapa lines. I won't. When we die, we have nothing together, so our whakapapas won't be eternal. But at the same time, it's like, why is it difficult? He lives with me. He sleeps with me every night. He's the only man that knows every single little, you know, ghastly thing about me, and he still loves me. We have a passion for our mahi together. Like, we haven't created a child, but we are creating a papakainga, we are creating a wānanga, we are creating other things that aren't as personal or forever as a child.
Hello.
Bye, Johnny.
Love you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
What's happened since Saturday is that I contacted Louise once again and made her aware that it's Father's Day next weekend. And her answer was, quote unquote, yeah, the kids could come down. Are you paying for their fares? To which I, of course, replied, well, no, nothing's changed. Bashed off a letter to my solicitor, Cheryl, and she's gotten back to me. In a nutshell, legal aid may not cover it, so we might try nonetheless, but at the moment I'm just so at the end of my tether with not being able to see my other kids, Johnny being deployed, and everything else that's going on right now. I just don't think I've got the mental capacity to cope with any more crap. My history in terms of love. Interesting. My first serious relationship was in the early 90s. One daughter resulted from that. I didn't know her for 15 years. I never clapped eyes on her in 15 years. Her life's in Western Australia. My other two kids, I used to be able to get to see them once a fortnight. Now I'm not getting to see them at all.
And John just decided he was going to eat it because I was walking out to the kitchen.
Oh, that works.
Yes, doesn't
Raw.
he?
Why do you leave it raw?
How do I feel about knowing more about my stepchildren than my own children? You feel gutted. when you know more about children that you haven't known since they were born than you do about children whose birth you were at. My best case scenario would be to have all my kids under my roof where I could look after them and watch them grow up. Worst case scenario is never seeing any of them again. I don't know how I'd react if that happened. I don't even want to go there. It's that painful.
I knew all about the research, about waiting, you know, a certain period of time before you get into another relationship, making sure that, you know, children aren't exposed to partners that aren't going to be around long term. And so I was pretty comfortable in the fact that I was going to go through this experience, no matter how difficult, and just see how it goes. Because you learn so much in that time when you're alone.
I like to be out in the country. I like bushwalking and rock climbing and sport sort of things outdoor. That was really useful for me, but I found that I'd get to the top of a mountain and I'd be sitting there and I'd be wanting to go, look at that, and there was no one there to talk to. Morning. So we've got a wedding coming up on Saturday, big day, a couple of days to go and a big long list of things to do. Some of the rallies, Lance family coming in from out of town, so thought I'd better spruce the front yard up a little bit. We'll get the rest of this mulch on and right on cue, lovely lady drives in. How about that?
I think meeting Craig now at this stage in my life has been the right time to meet him. I don't think it would have been right circumstances for me in my 20s, and I probably wouldn't have been attracted to him in my 20s. We share many similar values and goals, and we've both been through the heartache of a separation and being single parents, so you never lose that. You know, that's always there.
Well, I think we're right. Other than that, it's all there. Just got to be named.
Right. We've been working on this list because there's so many little bits and pieces of things to take that we just can't remember it all. So we've got our list here. These are bags I've made up for the kids. We've got some kids coming along. And these are our rose petal cones for the ceremony.
I think the hardest bit is that when you start into a marriage or a long relationship, you only envisage it going well, you only envisage it going forever, you only think of it in a good frame. And when those things don't work out, and some of your preconceived ideas or expectations, they're probably the toughest things to deal with, the fact that it all changes.
What I'm going to say, Lan, is that you and Dad probably want to stall coming down completely until we've got everyone else in place.
Okay.
Okay.
Jack, and just walk slowly, girls. You don't have to walk fast.
A slow walk. Go.
Slowly, Beach. Beach, slower.
You know, they used to see me crying a lot. You know, there was a time when I used to think, when are they not going to see me crying? You know, and sometimes I just couldn't get out of bed. You know, I didn't talk to them a lot about what I was going through, but, you know, they knew that it was really tough for me, and they were just so amazingly thoughtful and caring towards me. They'd bring me glasses of water and write me notes, and
I know, it's not easy. Is that slow enough?
That'll be good.
Yeah. So that's a bit quick, Dad. Slower.
You want me to do a Perot?
Because we've both been through, you know, pretty traumatic experiences of separation, then when you find genuine, real love again, there's just a joy and a peace that comes with that, because you know what it's like to be at the other end of that spectrum of emotions, of depths of despair and loneliness. And you, in those moments, you wonder whether you'll ever find love again. And when you do, you never lose that joy, because you know how precious it is.
There's a couple of reasons.
It's all on. My boy, he must be so excited. I'm really happy for him. I see him walking around with a little bit of nerve, a little bit of edge on him.
Well, yeah, I feel excited. Can't wait to get on, start getting everything going tonight, yeah. And yeah, start mingling in with everybody.
It's about a good 80 people turning up tonight. And this is how we cook for our whānau. Put down a big, beautiful hangi.
Oh, we've got 24 chickens, 2 dozen chickens. And then that'll leave us cold meat for tomorrow, just if people want sandwiches and salad and stuff like that.
We need to make sure that we get this fire up and pumping to come out bang on time for tonight for the special occasion. You have to get the chicken and all the meat right. You can't just grab meat and put it in a basket like so. And let all the flavours of the water crisp come through all the chicken, all the pork, all the mutton, and beautiful. So far, so good anyway, you put it that way.
This is for one doing my 70th birthday. My hangi for my 70th birthday.
It's not an American sitcom where you've got the divorced couple swanning in and out of each other's house, being the best of mates, and, you know, little Johnny's sort of like going, oh, I'm with Mum this time, and, oh, I'm going with Dad this time, and it's all sweet and harmonious. That is the exception, not the rule. Hollywood's got a lot to answer for that one.
The issues are about, you know, hurt and betrayal and feeling abandoned by the other person, or you know, maybe one person's life has moved on and my life hasn't, and so I'm not going to make it easy for you, you know, and so it becomes about resentment.
Graham, don't forget that money.
And so while it might look like it's about a $3 train fare, it's not really.
This is the money I have to pay for the ransom for my children. Apparently they're only worth $3.50. But it's worth it. That's to pay their fare home. It's the only way I can get the kids. Basically, I sent her an SMS saying, I'll pay the kids' fare home. I want them for Father's Day. And the rest is history, basically. We're living in Rydalmere, the hub of the universe as far as street crime, prostitution and drugs go. We're close to Parramatta, that's the upside of this suburb. Close enough to Hornsby to make it easy to pick up the kids. It's the only way I can put it is bittersweet. I'm over the moon that I'm going to get to see my kids again. That's fantastic. But the bitterness comes in the fact that I have to yet again accede to Louise's wishes. So, yeah, I'm willing to swallow my pride and pay the money until we can get this sorted in court, because I want to see my kids and my kids want to see me. It'll be interesting to see how Rod and Erin are.
Yes.
Whether they get excited or are really down in the dumps like last time.
Well, they didn't seem that excited coming for Father's Day, did they?
I guess I suffer these self-doubt times. I think any parent in my position does. You know, you wonder if your kids still love you, if they still want to see you, because you don't know what your ex-partner's saying to them. And it's always nice when, you know, Sonny did it all to see you and go, Dad, and run up to you, give you a cuddle. Oh, man, did you bring it down so I could have a look? No. Oh, it's in class. No. Are you learning anything?
No.
All right, well, you can leave school and we'll take you to work down the mine. I have, honestly, to my mind, tried to look at it from Louise's point of view. But you have to understand, Louise's point of view, when I'm looking at it and trying to take that position, is tainted by my own point of view. And it's the same with Louise. But I think the fact remains that it will never happen. With some people, it just won't happen.
Yes? Yeah. Yeah.